Welcome back to the Whiskey Couch in Pretoria, South Africa with me, Gustav Muller, as your host. In today's video, I'm going to give a short summary of the 4 21-year-old single malt whiskies that I reviewed over the past few days. And I'm also going to reveal which one is my personal favorite, my number one out of these 4. But before I do that, I would like to raise a glass to you all of you who are watching my videos on this YouTube channel, everybody who subscribed, everybody who invited friends to subscribe. I just noticed that we are 20 subscribers away from 500 subscribers. So today is a day that we can all celebrate. I did not expect it after only 5 months on YouTube, and also to the entire whiskey tubing community, all of the other whiskey tubing channels. I've got a lot of respect for all of you guys, and I'm learning a lot from all of you. So to all of you out there, all of my whiskey friends and subscribers, I want to raise a glass and say Sláinte Shema. Oh, fantastic. This is my personal favorite. In this glass, one of these 4 right here, but I'm going to tell you a bit later which one it is. So the first 21-year-old single malt that I reviewed and that I did food pairing on was the BUNNAHABHAIN. BUNNAHABHAIN 21-year-old old malt cask, bottled by independent bottlers Hunter Lane and Company, bottled at 50% alcohol by volume, matured in refill sherry Hogshead. And my summary for this one was rich, top shelf, lightly peated sherry delight with a long finish. And the food pairing that I did with this one was pan-fried ostrich fillet with dark chocolate shavings. It was a memorable whiskey and food pairing. I can remember that very, very clearly. BUNNAHABHAIN 21-year-old. The second one that I reviewed was the BALVENIE 21-year-old, and I've got only the tubes, gift tubes here. The bottles are standing over there. BALVENIE was the second 21-year-old Portwood. This one bottled at 43% alcohol by volume, matured in ex-Bourbon casks and 550 litre port pipes. My summary for this 21-year-old was silky smooth, honeyed, dark berry chocolate with nuts and a touch of mint, and I paired it with peppermint crisp caramel tart that my wife made. It was absolutely delicious. BALVENIE. I actually had a request from one of the YouTube guys that's following my channel that I should review some BALVENIE, and that gave me the whole idea to do this 21-year-old. The third whiskey that I reviewed, GLENFARCLAS 21-year-old, bottled at 43%, matured mainly in ex-sherry casks, and my summary for this whiskey was elegant and classy sherried dram, good value for money. And I paired it with something very interesting, a good old cottage pie, but the secret is the sweet fruit chutney. That was the connection with that particular whiskey, and it worked very, very good. Normally, I do a lot of research on these whiskies, and I do several food pairings, and eventually I come to a decision in terms of what works best, and that is what I put on the video. The last one, the 4th one, was the old PULTENEY 21-year-old. World Whiskey of the Year in 2012 as awarded by Jim Murray in his Whiskey Bible. Matured in ex-Bourbon and Oloroso sherry casks, bottled at 46%. So we've got 50%, 43, and 46%. My summary for the old PULTENEY. Rich, complex, fruity, sweet, chocolatey and salty. A top shelf whiskey. And I paired that with baked caramel cheesecake. What a wonderful experience, these 4 21-year-olds. And I must say, out of all the mini-series that I've done so far, my decision to pick a number 1 out of these 4 was the most difficult. Because these are really exceptional whiskies, each one in its own right. But eventually I chose this one, Bunnahabhain 21-year-old. And I know some of you guys will protest quite a bit, because what does that help any of us? Because no one is going to get this bottle again, not even me. I found this a year or so ago, one lonely bottle in a liquor store, never seen it ever again. But still, this was for me the best one out of the 4. And I learned something from this whole exercise, even though I will not be able to find this particular bottling ever again. I do learn that Bunnahabhain is a distillery that one might overlook. It is a distillery that's got very, very good whiskies. And I also learned from this whole exercise that one often overlook the independent bottlers that's out there, such as this one. I would typically, in a liquor store, I would pass by an independent bottling like this, and I would look for the distillery bottling. I don't know why, because of the marketing perhaps, I don't know. And I learned from this exercise to give a bit more attention to Bunnahabhain as a distillery and the different bottlings that it is putting out there, and also that I must pay more attention to the independent bottlers. They've got some very, very good whiskies that one might just browse past to go to the distillery bottlings. So I picked this one because it had an exceptional inviting nose for me. It had so much flavor. It is just something absolutely magnificent. The nose was vanilla, toffee, sherry, licorice, purple grape candy, light peat smoke. On the palate, I experienced sweet, creamy, dark sherry, dark fruits, dark chocolate, marzipan, earthiness, a woodiness, and it was just something fantastic. Maybe I'm a little partial, maybe, because with my son I visited the Bunnahabhain distillery, and he bought me this bottle, and we went right into the warehouse where the casks were, and I did this bottling from the cask myself, and I put this label on myself, and that was an absolutely fantastic experience. It is a 13-year-old Pedro Jimenez finish Bunnahabhain, bottled at 52.3% alcohol by volume, with my signature on my very own label. What a magnificent experience. And where is this bottle? It's about there at the moment. So I've already enjoyed a couple of drams from this fantastic bottle. So maybe this does make me a little bit partial. Nevertheless, that is my number 1 pick. My number 2 pick, because I know some of you guys are wondering, my number 2 would be the old Pulteney. How sad is it that this was just discontinued? That is very sad, but this is my number 2. But let me tell you, these other 2 are just sort of like this far below. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon, because I'm starting a mini series of 4 different Irish whiskies that I'm doing the research on now, and I look forward to seeing you on those videos. Till then, sláinte.